Hi, and welcome to today's Pick a Card reading. So today's reading topic is going to be a relationship snapshot. So if somebody was to take a picture of your relationship right now and then looked at what they think, what they feel, and what they desire, this is what they'd see, all right? So what we're doing is that we're looking at basically what are the fundamentals of this relationship, and what you can do with that information is by knowing what's going on in their mind and their heart and what's going on with their body and all of that kind of stuff, you can work with that to help the relationship move along and all of that kind of stuff. I also put a guidance card in there as well to give you some tips on what you can do to move the relationship along more fast, okay? Because I know that some of you guys have come to me in private readings and told me that you're having some struggles with slow-moving relationships, and I know that that's something that is really important to my clients, so I want to offer it for free here in my public readings. So that said, I'm going to go ahead and name the piles. Pile number 1 is the blue. Pile number 2 is the yellow. Pile number 3 is red. Pile number 4 is black. Pile number 5 is green. And pile number 6, we're going to go ahead and call that orange. I understand that some people might see it as pink. Some people might see it as like a peach color. But I'm going to call it orange. So that's what I'm calling it. Understand, I actually am colorblind, but that's what I'm gonna call it, okay? All right, so while you guys are picking the pile that maybe you feel pulled towards, or that you know, for whatever reason you feel like you want to pick that pile, the law of attraction will take care of the rest. All you have to do is kind of keep the person in your mind, the person that you're asking about, and we will see how they're thinking, how they're feeling, and what they desire, okay? That said, I do want to say, if you need to know anything about me, including where to book a reading, how to get a hold of me, you know, all of that kind of stuff, it is in the descriptor below. That's also where timestamps are going to be, okay, guys? So that said, I think that we are ready. If you have not chosen your pile, go ahead and pause the video. Otherwise, we're going to start with pile number 1, okay? All right. So, again, we're looking at just a little relationship snapshot here, what they think, what they feel, and what they desire. All right, hi, pile number 1. Those of you who picked the blue, here is, they're thinking about work right now, and we've got the 4 of Cups. Okay, what they're feeling, we've got Crossroads in the Challenger, and what they desire, we have Strength, and we have the 8 of Swords, okay? And your advice card is Expression, okay? So let's go ahead and look at this in, you know, in 3 parts, okay? So right now your person is either working really hard at work or they're working really hard at the relationship. Given that we're looking at the relationship itself, and this is a love reading, I'm going to go ahead and say this is working on the relationship for most of you. I would say 85% of you, this is hard work at the relationship. So they really are thinking about how to make this work, and they want to make this work, and they want to do that, okay? Another thing to keep in mind, though, for the rest of you guys, the 15% or so, you know, is that your person might just be so distracted by either a work project or like a project that's requiring them to put in some hours. You know, like for example, a home renovation project, for example, you know, just something that would like, you know, cause a lot of, you know, like they need to really put their attention into it. You know, that's something to kind of keep in mind, that that's on their mind, okay? And so if your person is kind of struggling with that, just know that they really do want to just get that done. It doesn't have anything to do with you. It's just that's what's on their mind. What we do have here is that they're a little bit stubborn and a little bit guarded right now about the relationship. What they're thinking is that maybe they're upsetting you too much, and they don't want to upset you. And so they're kind of like thinking, like they're kind of pulling back just a little bit to kind of think about like, what can I do to make this person happy? And how do I avoid upsetting this person in the future? You know? And I understand that a lot of people who are watching this video are probably right now saying, well, I told them all they have to do is, you know, and then fill in the blank with what it is. All they have to do is call when they say they will. All they have to do is be home by dinner. All they have to do is, you know, whatever it is, okay? Here's the deal though. When they feel chastised like that, they wonder what else they're doing, like failing at, basically. What else are they doing wrong and all of that kind of stuff. So it would be easier to give them more positive reinforcement by when they do call, like, it's great to hear from you. I'm so glad you called. You know, that kind of thing. The problem with that is that if a person's already in the habit of not calling, you know, it might take a while before you get the, get the opportunity to even give them that positive feedback. Just know that in their mind, in their mental space right now, they're kind of feeling a little defensive. They're kind of feeling like maybe, like they've hurt you or they've upset you somehow, and they don't want to do that. You know, they don't want to do that anymore. And so they've got to kind of take a step back from the situation to kind of figure that out for themselves, okay? Because maybe for you, you know, I'm just going to use the example of calling, okay? It could be anything. Maybe for you, it's like, it would be so easy to just call, but maybe for them, it's really difficult for them to find privacy, for them to, you know, maybe they are having troubles financially, and they're paying as they go, and they're too embarrassed to tell you, and they can't make calls as much. You know, there can be all sorts of different things that can interfere with that, you know. So I just want to say, you know, they want to. It's just that they're aware that they, you know, aren't aren't doing what you want as much, you know, and that makes them feel a little guarded. So we do have them, you know, they want to challenge this situation. They want to say, you know what? I want this to be a different way. And whatever way it is, it's just a different way romantically. It's not necessarily a different way, like they don't want to be with you, okay? It's like they're finally willing to, at least emotionally, this is where they are in their heart space. They're willing to really kind of fight for this situation, okay? They do know that they're kind of at a crossroads in that they've kind of been dragging their feet. They've been waiting a lot, you know. They've been dragging their feet, and they need to make a decision. Okay, so they are aware of that. One thing that they desire in this relationship is understanding. Okay, we've got the character who's tamed the beast. How do you tame a beast? It's by understanding it. You've got to speak its language somehow, regardless of how that language, you know, comes about. It might be coming through body language. It could be coming, you know, it could be anything. She has tamed this beast, and through that, she's gained an understanding between her and the animals. So what your person wants is understanding. They also want to be like your rock, okay? So they are desiring to play that role with you. Another thing that they want, this is kind of a weird thing. They, because this is usually a negative card when it comes up, Eight of Swords is mostly about like thinking so much that you get all tied up in it and you don't know, it's like usually people who kind of catastrophize, worry a lot, and people who, they might come to a conclusion, they don't like it, so they keep thinking, trying to come up with another conclusion and that kind of stuff. Overthinking, that's what this typically is about. But in this particular reading, what we're getting here is that they want to have more conversations with you about ideas. They don't want to have conversations about feelings as much. They don't want to have conversations so much about physical desires. They want to connect with you in the mind, because that's where this person lives. This person is very cerebral. And, so I would say, go ahead and find out, what have they seen lately? What TV show or movie have they seen lately? What have they read? That kind of stuff. What are they interested in? What are their hobbies? That kind of stuff, so that you guys can find a way to connect on information. Okay. So keep that in mind. We have expression as, your guidance card. So yeah, expression is like, instead of saying, I love you, or I really like you, or you're so great, or you're so cool, or whatever, turn them into acts of love instead. And I'm not talking about love languages, that might be a love language, but I'm talking about turning it into, demonstrate how you're feeling by expressing it that way, rather than by expressing it by telling them how you feel, if that makes sense. That's the way to go here, okay? So you have a situation where the person wouldn't be feeling like this, or at least thinking this kind of stuff, if they didn't care about you, okay? They definitely want more information about the situation. They want to connect, and they're in their heart, they know they need to make a decision about this relationship soon, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to move forward here. Okay? All right. Hi, those of you who picked the yellow, this is your reading. So, we've got the 10 of coins, all right? We've got the world. We have, and this is for what they're thinking, okay? For what they're feeling, we've got generosity, and we do have privacy, okay? So if they've been kind of withholding their feelings a little bit lately, not being so forthcoming with what they're feeling and that kind of stuff, just know that that's because they're kind of going within right now, okay? We have, for what they desire, the Ace of Cups and the Three of Cups. This is good. For your guidance, we have priorities. Okay. So let's kind of go at this in 3 sections. What they're thinking about, gosh, they're thinking about how great the situation is. They've got everything that they want from the situation and more, like they see that, and they see that they can have everything with you, okay? So intellectually, on the mind level, you guys are connecting really, really well. You will notice that one of the ways that your person expresses that they care about you is that they'll be very generous with something that's very important, okay? Like time, something you can measure. Generous with the time, it might be generous with money or gifts. They're going to be, they will, it's almost like they'll put themselves out to make certain that you're taken care of, that kind of thing. And that's where they are in their hearts. They want to give to you, okay? But they're also at a place where they kind of do need that emotional privacy. They need to, and when I say that, I mean that they need to be able to kind of be alone with their feelings, to kind of process them, so that they can then tell you how they're feeling and have it be really accurate. Because, if they're put on the spot to say, well, how do you feel about me? How do you feel about the relationship? And they haven't been able to sort it through, then they can't feel real confident about it. It'll make them feel a little bit ill at ease. Thankfully, this isn't going to take a very long time. This isn't like hermit privacy. This is just a little bit of privacy here. Okay, so just know that in their heart, they just need to take a little bit more time, not a whole lot. What they desire a new emotional relationship with you. I mean, that's what they want. They want something, powerful, something mysterious, something wonderful with you. Okay, and we have the Three of Cups. They want to be happy with you, and they want to make you happy. So do understand that for some of you guys, maybe you're in a situation where you feel like your person maybe isn't listening to what you want, or isn't doing some of the things that you're asking them to do, and all of that kind of stuff. Understand, for some people, it's in their nature to do that stuff naturally, and for other people, they've got to work at it. They've got to figure it out, and that kind of stuff, Like, for example, for me, if I was one of those people, if I was with one of those people that really needed me to call them a lot, I would not, it would be really hard for me to do that. Not because I wouldn't care about them. You know, I'm thinking about the people that I care the most about in my life. It doesn't have anything to do with how much I care about them. It's just, I don't like talking on the phone. I just really don't like it. You know, if it was that important, I'd have to set a limit, like, okay, maybe 3 minutes, you know, or something like that. But, you know, it's kind of like that, you know, some things that come really easy and natural, and it's like, that's just what you do, you know, to some people are things that other people just hate, you know, and sometimes when you pry into that a little bit more, you know, you will find out some really profound truths about why that person doesn't like whatever it is. All right, so how you can kind of speed this along right now. This is going to happen pretty quickly anyway, so I don't really think that this is one of those situations like, okay, you've got to wait and wait and wait. You know, this is about to come about if it hasn't already. Make sure that your priorities are really aligned and are kind of set in place. And the priorities, they don't have to be about, you know, I do this and then I'm going to do this and then I'm going to, you know, they don't have to be activities. They don't have to be activities. They don't have to be like this person's more important than that person, and, you know, and all of that kind of stuff. It can be moral priorities, right? Because that's, you know, that's kind of what I'm getting. It's that more like, you know, what's most important to you? Is it most important to you that in this relationship, you know, you have this relationship with, you know, a sense of humor, for example? Is that the most important thing to you? Or is it the most important thing to you is that you have a really simple life, for example? Is the most important thing to you that you have kids, you know, that kind of thing. Make sure that you have all of your priorities when it comes to the relationship, your convictions, your morals, that kind of stuff. So that you guys can build a relationship with some terms, you know, because it looks like that's the next step anyway. So yeah, be prepared. Alrighty. Okay, hi. Those of you who picked the third pile, the red pile, here is your reading. We have the High Priestess, okay, and the Fool. This is what they're thinking right now, okay? Emotionally, we have courage and we have victory. For what they desire, we have the Four of Cups. We have the Three of Wands. Okay. And your guidance card is Discernment. Okay, so this is a really positive reading. Maybe the desire isn't as good as it could be, but I mean, you've got a good reading, okay? First off, in the thoughts, we've got this person. This person must be either really intelligent or really kind of calm, you know, in their thoughts, because we've got the High Priestess, which is a lot of intuitive energy, and then we've got the Fool, which is like, you know, this person really cares about self-bettering. They really care about making certain that they're being their best self every day, you know, and they'll actually work to make certain that happens. This person might live a little bit, you know, a little bit far away from you, because the Fool does represent a traveler. This person might be in school, you know, or just might like to learn a lot, because the Fool also, you know, learns a lot of lessons, you know, as he journeys through the major arcana. So I do want to mention that. But where he or she, where your person is in your, in their thoughts right now, is they're very collected. They're very mature. They're thinking good things, and they're trusting their intuition when it comes to this relationship, okay? Emotionally, they feel courageous and they feel victorious. They feel like they can succeed in this relationship. There are so many times that I see people, you know, that don't feel like they can ever measure up. Okay, people who have really, really horrible self-esteem issues, that kind of thing. Your person is feeling confident, and that's good, because you know, again, they trust their intuition, and they're feeling confident that this relationship is going to succeed. They really believe in this relationship, okay? They know they're willing to wait until the timing is right. This person's very sensitive to timing. So do understand that if it seems like something's been taking a while, it's only because they think that it would be better to let it wait. You know, it's not because they don't care about you, because they clearly do. This person also might be a little bit lax and laid back about deadlines. And this is just regarding the waiting, okay? You know, cause it's like they trust the situation so much that it's like they don't even, you know, like they're so comfortable, they're so secure in a situation that they don't worry that they could, like, for example, that they could lose you or anything like that. So if they're about to lose you, they're going to be really surprised, seriously, because this is the kind of person that, you know, they feel confident. They feel it's very cool. It's very cool and confident and calm. It makes me feel calm, to like be in this energy. With the Four of Cups here, we've got a lot of dreaming, a lot of self-reflection. So, you know, we're talking about what do they want? This is what they desire. This is their thoughts. This is their feelings. This is what they desire. What they desire is they want to make their vision a reality with you. And they're willing to stay in it for the long run, okay? What you can do is make sure that in your own heart, you are using discernment. That's the key word on this. You're using discernment to tell the difference between when you're feeling loving feelings and when you're feeling either fear or worry or anxiety, or, you know, something that isn't love, right? When you're looking at this relationship. And also, you know, in your heart, you know, I'm not saying, you know, your heart has its own truth, okay? And its own truth is going to be, you know, it could be completely different from the truth of physical reality or your mind or spirituality, but where you are in your heart has its own truth, and make sure that you're not fooling yourself about how you're feeling. For example, sometimes somebody will get very, very angry, and they'll just be like, gosh, I'm so mad at you. I'm so mad, you know? And what they really are feeling is fear. They're like afraid, like they're mad because maybe the person didn't talk to them when they thought that they were supposed to have have a talk. Like maybe they didn't call them, right? And they're like, gosh, I'm so mad you didn't call. But what it really is they're afraid that that person doesn't care about them enough to call, for example, or something like that. It's like, be aware of what the true feeling is. Because, you know, sometimes people name their feelings without sitting there and really thinking about, you know, feeling it out, basically. And, you know, make sure you're really feeling out your feelings. You're being very, very accurate about how you're feeling with your person, because that's what they need that. And they need for the feelings to be consistent. Because if you kind of go back and forth between being like, oh, I like you so much, I love you so much, and like, gosh, I'm so mad at you. It's like you're giving inconsistent feelings to that person. And they might just be waiting for the situation to kind of stabilize a little bit. You know, so just make sure that you're giving consistent emotional experiences to your person, because that's what they need. You know, they just need that in order to, you know, for them to discern, you know, what your true intentions are. Okay. Alrighty, guys. This is a very positive reading, though. Your person is right there. Alrighty, hi. Those of you who picked the Black Stone, here is your reading. We've got the Knight of Swords. We've got the Three of Wands. You guys might be in a long distance situation here. We have success. We have joy. Okay, we have the Knight of Swords, and we have the Two of Wands, and we have the present, living in the moment. Okay. All right, so this is what they're thinking, this is what they're feeling, and this is what they want, okay? So we've got the Knight of Swords, we've got the Three of Wands for what they're thinking. They're thinking they want to talk to you, they want to talk to you more and more. In fact, if you're watching this video, and it's during the times where your person might normally contact you, they might be trying to contact you right now. I mean, I seriously wouldn't be surprised. Because this person, like, there's an urgency to talk to you, to communicate with you. I don't even feel like it's like, not like an emergency. It's just they want to connect. They want to talk to you. They want to move forward. They want to like see how you're doing and that kind of thing. And also, you know, it's like there is this kind of like in their mind there's this distance between the two of you that they really want to close. So this, you know, long distance relationship, it might not be literally long distance, although I do feel like some of you guys that's what it is. But I feel like it, you know, it could be just this like kind of imagined distance between the two of you. Maybe the two of you haven't been as, you know, together for as long as some of my other viewers, you know, that kind of thing. Or maybe you guys, you know, were kind of on again, off again, and you're kind of in an off again, you know, place right now. But they feel this longing for you, okay? And they want to close that distance between the two of you very, very badly. Okay, so here's how they're feeling. We have, you know, they see you as the ultimate, like, if they could pick the perfect person to be with, they would pick you, okay? They just see how, like, it's almost like they can't see how they could be with anybody else except for you. You know, and it's the kind of feeling that you get, you know, when it's like you meet somebody and they're so important to you, whether they're a friend or you know, somebody in romance or whatever, you know, somebody that you meet and you're like, I have no idea what I was doing in my life before I met you, that kind of thing. That's the kind of feeling that they have. I mean, they really appreciate you, and they're just so happy. They're so happy. They're so joyful that you've really filled up their hearts with joy, that they found you, and that's, you know, that's something. I mean, it's really special. And then we have the Nine of Swords. Okay. It's like, well, wait, this person does not look like they're having fun. Why would anybody want this, right? Okay, so the Nine of Swords is about having basically a nightmare, associating with the worst possible scenario, that kind of thing. And it's like, what your person wants is to kind of like wake up from fear and to be able to move forward in this particular situation with confidence, because I feel like it's like they're afraid. They're afraid that maybe they're going to lose you. They're afraid that maybe they could do something wrong. I don't feel like they're walking on eggshells or anything like that. I don't feel like that at all. It's more like they've got their own stuff. They've got their own junk that they're dealing with. And they just don't want to feel nervous anymore about it. And it's a real struggle. I wouldn't be surprised if your person might have some anxiety or depression or some other kind of, you know, post-traumatic stress disorder, some other kind of biological basis for this kind of fear, or maybe some past trauma. Because it's like, it's almost like paralyzing. They really don't want to lose the situation. So just understand that, you know, they don't want to act that way. They don't want to act clingy. They don't want to act like, you know, panicky and stuff like that. And for some of you guys, they're going to overcompensate, and it's going to look like they're kind of aloof. But they're just doing that because they're overcompensating for not wanting to look clingy. Okay. So that's that. The Two of Wands, again, moving forward. The Two of Wands is often about taking a trip. So again, with these paired up, especially with, and then we've got the Knight of Swords, this person moving very fast and all of that. I do feel like if the two of you guys are in a long distance relationship, you're going to be planning a trip very, very soon, okay, to see each other. Even the Nine of Swords references traveling with shamanism, you know, because we do have somebody that's woken up. So yeah, we do have this this kind of theme of distance and closing that distance, okay? It could be another thing to kind of think about is if your person seems a little distant and it seems like, well, they're the one that's not there. How could they feel all these things? It's that they know that they need to close the distance. They're thinking about that distance. They're thinking about that longing. They're like, you know what? I need to go for it. I need to move real fast. I need to close this distance. That's what I desire. I want to close the distance. You know, I feel a longing, you know, that kind of thing. Your advice is to live in the moment, and just give love to every single moment of this relationship, okay? in this particular situation, it's like the two of you are such a blessing to one another that as long as you keep you just send love to the relationship. You can do this through visualization. That's how I do it. You can do it however. You can create a ritual, however you decide to do it. Just send love to the situation and know that you and this other person are creating like you're creating a new energy, which is the energy of the relationship itself, and that you want to nurture that relationship. Of course, you want to nurture the other person. Of course, you're interested in your person, but you also both have a relationship to take care of, right? So send love to that relationship, and you'll notice that things are gonna, they'll start picking up. It's interesting how that works, but things will start picking up with you guys. But yeah, this looks really positive. I understand that this might seem like what, but I mean, really, it's all about waking up and not being afraid anymore. Okay. Righty. All right. Hi, pile number 5. Those of you who picked the green stone. All right. So we have, what are they thinking? They're thinking about temperance and they're thinking about strength. Okay. What are they feeling? Romance. The visionary. Okay. I feel compelled for you guys to say this is the equivalent of the 2 of Cups, and this is the equivalent of the King of Cups. We have the 4 of Swords here, okay, and we have the 5 of Wands. This is what they're desiring, okay, and your advice is willingness, okay? So let's look at this in different sections here. What's on their mind? We've got temperance, which is just talking about they want to feel like they're in control of the situation, all right? They want to feel like they're not getting in too deep, It's like a Goldilocks kind of feeling, like it's not too soft, not too hard, it's got to be just right, that kind of thing. They might see you as something that's very tempting that they kind of need to temper against. Your person might be a little bit more reserved, and so their energy might be more geared towards kind of like keeping control of themselves. And I say that because we also have the Strength card, which gives me the feeling of trying to manage something that could really get out of control, right? We've got this lion in here, that could definitely get out of control. So I feel like in their mind, they're putting a lot of mental effort into being calm and not letting things get out of control. And here's why: because they are so in love with you. They are so in love with you. They don't know what to do with it. They feel it constantly, all the time. They want to talk to you constantly. They want to share everything with you. It's driving them crazy. They're not used to feeling this. They don't consider themselves a romantic, yet this is coming out. It's making them not sleep. It's making them do things that are irrational, like think about you all the time. It's interesting because the way that it comes through is like, you've totally surprised them. You've come up behind them and you've surprised them, and they're like, wow, I can actually feel this way. This is crazy. And then what do they want? They want to be able to they kind of want to go, in a way, they kind of want to go back to the way it was, just because that was stable for them. Okay, this is taking so much. I mean, really, a lot of energy to like maintain this so that this doesn't slip up, right? And then we have the 5 of Wands. This is how it's going to be expressed. This is what they desire. They desire to be kind of playful. They desire some banter. I feel like it even is one of those things that kind of gets them a little turned on. I mean, it's kind of silly to say that, but some people, they have different ways. I feel like it's almost like, getting into this kind of like banter state and everything. It's like almost how they flirt with you. So do kind of keep that in mind. I do want to go back to this though. The Strength card for me also represents understanding when we're talking about relationships, because in order to tame a lion, you've got to come to some kind of understanding with it, right? This woman and this lion have some kind of understanding, right? So I do feel like they feel like you understand them, okay? So that's a really positive thing too. But again, with romance and the visionary, it's like they know what they want. They know you've got this person's heart completely, totally. They want to be with you. They know it's almost like they know that it's inevitable that you guys are going to end up together. But they also need their they do need their space. The Four of Swords is kind of like a small, like it's kind of like the Hermit, only a lot dialed down. It's like I need to take some time to kind of get my mind in gear and all of that. It's like they want, it's almost like they want some kind of like break from all of this intensity, because it's so intense, And I laugh because it reminds me a lot of somebody I know, first off, and I also laugh because it's like this is very much the way I would act if I was in love. I would be like this. I would just be like, oh my gosh, why do I want to stay up until 2 a.m. talking to this person? That's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense, that kind of thing. But I mean, it does come from that place that they're totally surprised by this, okay? And you might have known this person and been involved with this person to one degree or another for years, and they're still like kind of feeling the backlash there, okay? So understand this doesn't have to be a new situation. And just know that what you can do to help this around is just let them know that you're available. Let them know that you are willing to compromise with them if that's something they need. And basically be there. They need you to be there, because they really enjoy spending time with you. And if they are this playful, it wouldn't be unheard of to just be like, oh, I know you're just in love with me, that kind of thing. Let them know that you're comfortable with that idea, so that they can maybe feel a little bit more comfortable with that idea, okay? One thing I do have to mention is when I see a situation where somebody's trying to manage something, and we've got the Temperance, and then we've got love that's this intense, and then we've got like, a card that's kind of showing us some withdrawal, it does let me know that there might be some guilt involved. So I do want to say, if your person that you're thinking about happens to be in another relationship, or if you're in another relationship, understand that one of the reasons that they might not be expressing this as directly to you, the feelings, is because they're feeling guilty right now, and they feel like they just need to manage it right now until one or both of you are free, okay? So just keep that in mind as well, okay? It's something that came up, and I don't even feel like it's going to apply to most of you, but it's going to apply to enough of you that I wanted to point it out. All right, guys? This is great. You're fine. All right. Hi, those of you who picked the orange. Here is your reading. Okay, so we have Judgment. And we have the Seven of Cups. I like that card. So this is what they're thinking. They're thinking, we've got Judgment and the Seven of Cups. We've got how they're feeling. We've got some stress here, and we've got Power with the Emperor. Okay. What they want: Queen of Wands and Justice. Okay. And what you can do to help in this particular situation is we've got empathy, okay? So let's go ahead and look at it in 3 different sections, okay? In their mind space, what they're doing, they're fantasizing a lot, they're thinking about this a lot, they're thinking about their different options in this particular situation. They're thinking about you. You're on their mind. They also feel very, very strongly that they're supposed to be with you, okay? I mean, here's the deal. There's something about that they feel threatened by, okay? When they are thinking about being with you, there's something about it that, like, it takes away their control. It takes away their sense of control, and that stresses them out. That makes them feel really upset. I'm also getting that for some of you, your person is under so much stress right now that they just can't be in a relationship right now. Like, they're gonna have to, like, sort this out first before they can be in a relationship. And it doesn't mean that they don't care about you. It just means that they've just got this other thing they have to handle first before they can actually be there for you, okay? So keep that in mind as well. What they want that fiery, passionate energy with you. I would say that they definitely want to be with you physically. And again, I do feel like they feel, they do have that sense that the two of you could make a really, really good couple. But I just feel like there's something about that that's like stressing them out, or something that's taking away their control, that's making it difficult for them to move forward. Because they don't feel in control. And this is more than just that kind of feeling of, oh my God, what's happening to me, that happens when somebody falls in love. There's something that's more, that's stronger about it, kind of. It's like, it's more of a problem, I guess. And it's like, they're going to need some time to sort through that. But they also want the truth from you. They're very sensitive to the truth. Okay, if they feel lied to, it's like the worst thing in the world. Like, seriously, it really is. So understand that they really, really need the truth from you. So what they want is to just figure out what is true in this situation, okay? So do understand that, and also understand that they're honest with you, okay? They're not going to say what they don't mean. They're not going to misrepresent their feelings. They're not going to misrepresent their thoughts. They might feel a little bit, embarrassed that they're fantasizing about you a lot, but they're going to say, they're going to represent reality very, very honestly. So do understand that too. Okay? We have empathy. What your person needs right now, especially given that they're feeling the stress, okay, is they need to share in their emotional experiences with you. Okay? And that all you have to do is either relate what they're talking about that has any kind of emotional undertones to something you've been through, or to let them know that it's like, wow, if I imagine myself in that situation, I would feel, and tell them how you'd feel. Like, what are you going to do about that? That kind of thing. I feel like this person, your person isn't the kind of person that really needs advice so much as they just need, to be heard. They just want to be heard. They just want to express, frustration and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, the biggest, the biggest message that I'm getting right now, though, is that they're not ready to be in a relationship yet. That does not mean that they don't care about you, though. They do. It would be devastating if they lost you. I would say to give it a couple of months before they're going to get to that point, okay? So do keep that in mind. But they're in a good place, okay? They really are, because they, in their mind and with their desires, they're great. It's just this emotional turmoil that they're going through, okay? Alrighty. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for staying until the end of my video. I really appreciate it. I know that I haven't been great at all about keeping the channel updated, but I've had a whole lot of stuff going on. Oh my gosh, it was like my after my cousin died, and I have seasonal allergies, so it's harder for me to use my voice at this time of year. And then I've had my back flare up a couple of times where it's like it was like my choice between, should I make videos and be in terrible pain, or should I take my muscle relaxer and just be too out of it to make videos, but at least not be in pain, and it's like, it's been very difficult for me to stick with that, but I found some solutions for my back pain, which is great. And I'm working through the grief process. I am so thankful that I knew him, and I'm just glad that I had that opportunity to know somebody like him, and I was able to prepare for it happening. It just took some stuff out of me, when it happened. And so, I'm working through the grief process. I had mentioned, I'm very candid about what's going on with me. I had mentioned that I had to change my medicine. My medication is great. I'm not feeling out of it anymore from switching my medication. So I am going to be able to deliver on the channel content. Okay, so you can expect a Wednesday mini pick a card reading tomorrow. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every like and subscribe and comment. Thank you so much.